We are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
And we're also joined by no one, just us. The Mount Rush. Whoa, little audio issues there. Just us two. What else is new? The two top dogs running the show. Us all in. What else is new? And we are here with the episode 11 recap show. And let me tell you, I love tonight's episode. I thought, and we'll just dive right in. I thought trivia was solid. Wasn't the best of all time, but it was up there. It was definitely a step up from years past. I probably wish there was more questions and it moved a little quicker than it was. But that was perfect. And I thought tonight's elimination is arguably the best elimination of the year that we had.
Nani and Amber? Amber
Nerys?
and Nerys.
Yes. I
The
thought
best of the year?
I thought it was the best elimination of the year. I thought both of them went all out for it, and that's all we can ask for in a good old-fashioned pole wrestle, basically.
Yeah, I thought the episode was okay.
Whoa.
I certainly wouldn't use the L word. The trivia, I thought it was all right. We've seen better versions of it, but we have seen worse versions of it. All the four girls that were kind of circling the elimination. I thought the elimination itself was pretty good, but to me, it was just long. It felt like it was dragging. It felt like there was just like, you check the time and you see that there's still 35 minutes left to go, and you're like, how can we make it through this?
It's almost like one of those episodes where you wish you would have like started at like 8:30 and you could have just fast forward through like commercials and stuff where I mean,
Yeah.
imagine like, if you watched it live with the full 90 minutes, how bad it would have been or something like that. 100% agree. So I'm surprised. I'm a little taken aback because I thought you would have liked tonight's episode a lot more. But it's all right. We all have our opinions, and we'll dive into tonight's episode. Ryan McCord's in the chat. Mikey the Doctor. Love to see you guys. Always with us. All in. What else is new? Before we start our recap, I did, however, get a video from Andy. Should I play it now or should I play it at the end of the episode?
I think you should play it at the end.
End of the EP? All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Or should we give it up for the chat? Mikey the Doctor, Ryan McCord. Should we ask what they want?
I mean, it seems like they're more in than Andy is these days.
I know. I feel like realistically, should I just send the link to McCord and Mikey the Doctor right now and see if they want to hop in and we can just add a 4-person? I'm serious. Who says no?
We'll get into that.
All right. So we're not playing the video?
Not yet.
All right. Whatever. All right. Alex is, I don't know why he's all ropa tonight already.
You asked me if I...
All right. So let's
I don't care.
Tonight's episode. First things first, the streak. She's back. What else is new? Love that. Alex, anything to touch on the streak?
We're back. Chalk her up.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I feel like it always, what was the word you said, Alex? It's something that just gets the people going early. And
yeah,
I
love, it gets you in the mood.
Exactly. It kind of puts you in a good mood, and it's going to be a straightforward episode. And that's what we got tonight. The next thing after the streak, we kind of got into, the little foreshadowing, another reoccurrence of just BS this season. I feel like way too much foreshadowing this season. We saw little pockets of Amber talking with Chauncey. We saw people with Fezzi talking to Bananas. The whole Fezzi and Bananas talk was kind of interesting. I just feel like who likes Fezzi? Does anybody actually like him? He's just such a tool.
I think we kind of touched on it a couple seasons ago when Fezzi was a rookie, and how Bananas he has that eye out. Even if he doesn't necessarily want to be in an alliance with Fezzi, he knows that he could probably win a challenge. He could help him out down the line. Mm-hmm. And so he did it with Jordan back in the day. People remember they went to being best friends that one season. And the whole Fezzi Bananas thing was it seemed like they were in like a new room. I feel like we hadn't seen that room of the house that they were in, almost like a very basement-esque Rettencourt. They were sitting on the couch, drinking some beers, and just like an odd kind of combo and conversation down there.
Yeah, I felt like it was one of those places where you have to like unlock after like episode 10, like new room added to the house or whatever. Very like Mario Party-esque or something like that, unlockable. So, but besides that, I mean, there wasn't really anything crazy before we get into the daily. So let's just go right into the daily. Good old trivia. Nothing better than trivia. You walk in, you see kind of the spinning wheels, and then you have TJ with one of the biggest smirks on his face saying, this is my favorite of the season, blah, blah, blah. What did we think about tonight's format? We'll dive into some of the questions that were said tonight here in a sec. But what did we think about kind of they're strapped into, the wheel, they're spun around, they're stopped on a certain person, and then it's the first team to 5 questions, right? What did we
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I think I did not like the wheel part about it. I thought aside from that, the format I think was straightforward, easy to follow, and it was fine. I liked it. It's just I didn't like it for a variety of reasons, mainly because it just added time that wasn't necessary. And we didn't even get to see they hyped it up as everybody feeling sick. Nobody puked, at least not that we saw. And so it really didn't pay off in that way anyway. And so it just kind of, there would be like 15 seconds before each question because it was like, oh, I'm going to spin the wheel, and then it has to slow down, and then you see who you landed on. So I just didn't like that. If you're going to do it straight up, then do it straight up. I get that they have to have a gimmick. We talk about all the different ways that the challenge has done it in the past. You send the other team X's, people get flung off the thing, and so they didn't do anything like that. But I mean, overall, I thought it was fine aside from the wheel. And I mean, just aside from the format, it's nice to have it back. I was thinking about it. They didn't do trivia last season, which we gave them shit for, like they should have gotten. And it's been a long time since last season. So I think the last trivia that we got would have been like mid 2021, because I think
Mhm.
last season started like late 2021. And so it's been definitely over a year since we had a trivia. So didn't love the format, but definitely glad to have it back.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why I loved it. I wouldn't say love. Why I liked it so much was we haven't seen this in
Yeah.
so long, and I felt like the last couple times they did it, they dropped the ball completely. And I feel like they didn't really do it to they didn't do it the best way, but it was a step in the right direction. I always think it was like I would have liked it better if it was the first one to 10. There's nothing better than seeing more questions asked. Like, I don't think we've
Yeah.
ever been disappointed by that. I just wish it felt too slow. Like when you see the ones where they're talking about their partners, when they're like one person's strapped in and the other person's writing on the whiteboard or whatever, it's like you
Mhm.
get 2 strikes and it's boom, 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 next, boom, 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 boom. I just felt like it's just so slow and drawn out. And like you were talking about, Alex, the wheels got to land on a certain person, and that's rigged. It's not
Oh
like
yeah.
TJ's like spinning. It's just like, oh, who's next? Who should we add? And that's why I'm not a fan of it. Is how you get some people like I think like Nani, for example, the only question she had today was about Frozen, and she didn't know the 2 characters. It's like, why? How does she get only one question and Bananas gets 2 and Nelly gets 2? Like, and I'm not discrediting. I would rather have those people get 2 questions. It's just I would rather see Nelly and Bananas get like 5 questions and watch them go at it.
Yeah, and if you're gonna spin them as your gimmick, then actually spin them. Don't do like the slow and then stop on a person. Like make it, if Bananas gets a question wrong, like he has to go to a different wheel that like spins him and him only like 10 times in a row super fast. I don't know. But like or like eliminate people. If you get a question wrong and then you're done, and whichever team has somebody left at the end is the winning team. Like something like that. It just felt like it was a very simple one by one format, but the
Mhm.
wheel and the spinning just really didn't fit in well at all.
It kind of made me dizzy a little bit just watching them go around. I was like, oh my eyes. Um, so let's dive into the questions that were asked tonight. Some of this is our favorite. I think the first one was like C3PO, who his partner. I did like how it was all questions like basically about partners or the
Yeah.
ride or dies. I wish they would have stuck to that. I know they kind of went off the rails a little bit, asked some spelling, and there's nothing wrong with spelling and stuff like that. I wish they would have done everybody like round number one is like ride or dies, and then the next round is like spelling, and then the next round is like geography or something. Like mix
Mhm.
it up, but make it consistent. Because by giving like you know onomatopoeia to Gabby or whoever, Olivia, like it makes no. I think her word was acceptance, and she spelled it with a T. How right? Or what was it? Was like it
I,
ended with a T, like
I think it was wasn't it allegiance?
allegiance. Sorry, that's what I meant.
And
I don't
she
know why.
ended it. Her last three letters were CCT. I think
Yeah,
I
not to
think that's
confuse with Fifi. So I mean, just out of control. So let's go into the questions, Alex. Some of them we said the Star Wars one was classic. The Adam and Eve by what's her name? Casey was just unbelievable.
Oh, that was terrible.
The Garden of Eden. Eden? God, that gave me Dutch vibes.
I
Um,
think when Chauncey didn't know the Williams sisters,
that's
that
bad.
was that
And
was
then he
bad.
pulls the card. He's like, "I'm from Boston. How would I know that?" No, everybody knows that. Like,
They're
oh,
American.
that's awesome. I'm trying to
I
think
did
of
like I did like you mentioned some of the categories. One of the categories they could have done for like each round of questions could have been the questions about your own teammates. I feel like we got 4 or 5 of those, and those were always smirk when it's like you don't know how many siblings your teammate has, or you don't know, how to spell their name. Like that's classic.
God. That's like saying we don't know each other's stuff. Should we ask you on the spot? Alex's birthday is in August. There we go. When's Trevor's birthday?
June.
Hey, look at us, ride or dies. Just us two ride or dies. I don't know when Andy's
Yeah.
birthday is. I have no idea.
No.
I guess he must be ride or dies with Fezzi. That's why Mariah couldn't get his birthdays right or siblings right. God. So, but yes, I agree, Alex. I would have liked that. The siblings, questions, little like the name of the oldest in the family or whatever.
What
Yeah,
was what was Banana's question that he won on? What was his walk off? Do you remember?
it was 40. Here,
Oh,
we'll do the math for you. 40 times 3 minus 2. I mean,
he had
come
the
on.
math.
I mean, math is a really cool thing. I mean, come on. Like that question was just and that's the issue that I have. It was so left field. Like
It came out of nowhere.
yeah, there was no other math problems and you just throw that one and you're just like kind of like stunned or whatever.
What
Um
were what were the two that Nelson got right? Because I know he got Ben and Jerry's.
yes, he got Ben and Jerry and then he got
What was his first one? Because of course, they made a huge deal. Trivia Nelly. He had the crown, the cartoon in the background. What was his first
okay,
one?
I'm gonna we'll let the chat get that for us. But the fact that Scuba Nelly was an answer tonight, are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm weak. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Ryan McCord writes Nelly T ripping ass. Yeah, that was pretty funny. You would have thought it was like 50. God, what was that question? Now I'm thinking about it. Bonnie and Clyde? No, someone got that one wrong.
I think it was a duo though.
But Ben and Jerry, did he have two duos?
I thought they were both duos. I could be wrong though. Ben and Jerry's was definitely his second one,
I forget.
which was classic because like he only knows that because it's just like ice cream that he eats. Hmm.
How about with Tori with Good Will Hunting, not knowing Ben Affleck? Well, she got Ben
Yeah.
Affleck and not getting Matt Damon.
Brad
Uh,
Pitt.
Brad Pitt, classic mix-up, right?
There
Uh,
was kind of like I know it didn't really matter because it was clear that most of them didn't know their questions if they didn't know it right away. But there was like Jordan would kind of like give them hints. Like with the R2D2 one, he was like, "It's Star Wars," and like, what are we just allowed to like walk them to the correct answer?
well, that was the thing. It's like it's Star Wars, and they asked which robot was the question, and there's only like a certain amount of like iconic robots in Star Wars, and they gave one of them away. It can only be one more. It's not going to be Droid 3276 or some shit like that. Oh, classic empty. But like, I really think next year we should just like submit questions to them or something like, or honestly, we should try to get Nelly on the show and just ask him trivia questions
Ask him old trivia questions that the challenge has
that
done
he's
before.
answered. That he's answered. God, get Corey 9 times 3. So moving on, the winning team was the what other statement? Sorry, I was going to say the winning team. I believe was the orange team. And another pet peeve that I have is why are we switching the colors of these teams? Like, why don't we just keep it consistent? Like tonight was orange and green.
Wait, you're right.
Yes, like it was pink and what was the other one
I think
last
it was
week?
pink and yellow last week.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing?
Wait, that makes no sense.
Exactly, right?
It was orange tonight and green
Yes, it was
tonight.
orange and green tonight, but it was pink and something else last week. So I'm getting confused on these colors. I'm like, what is going on?
So what's it going to be next week? Like blue and
Should we put odds? It's got to be blue and red.
blue and red. I
Has
mean, that's so classic.
like how they probably were painting the stuff, and they were just like, whatever. We'll just call it that.
The orange and green was on discount.
Yeah, I know they didn't want to spend the extra money or whatever. Ryan McCord writes, remember last season we had sapphire and emerald. Yeah. I mean, we couldn't just make it like green and red or whatever. Like it was just so complicated with all these colors. So the vet team, well, is that fair just to call them the vet team?
Yeah, let's
Jordan,
do
or
that.
not Jordan, excuse me. Fezzi, Bananas, Nelly, Tori, who else? I was about to say Mariah, but not her. Olivia and Chauncey.
Nelson, Chauncey.
Yeah, that's the squad.
And I guess that's another thing. You know, obviously it played out how it played out, but I would have been more interested in the episode as a whole if the other team won, because it would have been different people in charge. Whereas now, at least like the middle part of the episode kind of felt like a rewind of last week's, because it's the same 8 people making the decisions.
Yeah, then it's tough, and I agree. What about Devin missing a question for the win?
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. I was surprised he didn't get that one right. I thought that was kind of a layup.
I didn't know that. I knew it was Jay-Z. I wasn't sure of the female.
Classic. So, Mikey the Doctor writes, we can just call them the University of Tennessee. I guess they were wearing that obnoxious orange tonight. So it was, that's a fair assessment. So moving forward, they win. And then I would say kind of the next 20, 25 minutes was just kind of floater time. Wasn't really anything crazy. We go to the club. We kind of just hang out. We see some foreshadowing, Tori kind of upset. You see Nelly upset, kind of, oh, I'm not part of this team, blah, 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 which is fair. I agree with Nelly. He's in a tough spot because he's not, the top dog on his team. And, realistically, as bad as it sounds, on his team, Chauncey's the first to go and he's next. Like, it's just how it is. And it sucks. But I don't know.
Well, and he even said specifically in the deliberation, jumping ahead a little bit, but he said, like, I just want to say last week, me and Olivia, I feel like we're the only 2 people that didn't know what the plan was. So like clearly, like there's something, because we talked about that on our pod last week, how they, they didn't really have a set plan going in there, but then they kind of quickly landed on something, and so it seemed like they kind of kept Olivia in the dark, mainly because it was her partner that kind of got the short end of the stick, but then Nelson too, kind of pretty much because of tonight, like they knew that his female partner was the low man on the totem pole for the girls, and so it's like I feel like the rest of them are just kind of keeping those 2 in the dark right now until their partners get sent home.
So my question is, next week, guys elimination, is it for sure going to be Chauncey if that team loses? Sorry, Chauncey versus Nelly.
If they lost, I feel like it would have to be. Oh, actually, no. Because I think the other team would probably send in Bananas or Fezzy,
True. I forgot about that. Yeah. You're right.
and then they would get their house vote. That would be
I
my
think
guess.
I think you would. If I'm the other team, I'm throwing Fezzi in every week, right?
Yeah, or Bananas.
I think. All right. So we go into deliberation. All four of the girls kind of make their speech, and you know, it's all pretty straightforward. I feel like we know where it's going. It's going to be Nerys. Um, but and you could definitely see it during. I think it was right before one of the commercials where Bananas was like saying to Nelson, "Then who are we voting in? If you don't want Nerys voted in, tell me a name.
Hmm.
Say a name." And he wasn't given an answer, and like I felt like at that time, like you knew she was dead.
Yeah, I mean this was an interesting part of the episode to me. So the four girls with Mariah, Amber, Nani, and Nerys, I feel like they were all a lot more evenly matched than the guys. Because like last week, it's like we knew, at least in just terms of abilities, right? We knew Kenny was last and Jordan was first, and there was a big gap in between those two. But I feel like now all four of them are like decent competitors and pretty good at a lot of different things. And yeah, like you said, they kind of settled on Nerys. I'm surprised Amber didn't pick up more steam just because it seems like nobody really likes her. It seemed like Nani is probably the safest. You know, she has the most vet connections and all that. And then I think Mariah was pretty safe for the most part. I think people have kind of just liked her. Obviously, but we saw the banana slow mo make out earlier in the episode.
So my question is now for that girl side, how does Nani get voted in? I
Well,
guess there's only 3 girls left, so it
yeah.
doesn't
So
matter.
how are they gonna do? How are they gonna do the voting next time?
Oh my god, I didn't
They're
even think
making
about
up the
that.
rules as they go.
I was thinking there was more girls because I was just like, well, obviously Mariah's said her shot, and because she said her shot, Amber has her shot now. But I guess there's nobody else. So is it the first person to just draw the safeguard safe?
We'll probably find out next week if that team loses because it'll be guys,
Guys,
and so
yeah.
it'll be Jordan, Devin, and Horacio. Like, how are they gonna determine which one of those three guys is gonna be safe?
Yeah. Good point. All right. Let's talk about that in a little bit. Let's finish up this little EP though. Um, every girl talks about it. We said Nerys is kind of the pick. So we go to the elimination itself. Um, and sure enough, Nerys gets voted in. No surprise there. I think the votes were like 5-1-1-1 or something. It was kind of, just nobody wanted to. And it's smart, I think, is, get the blood off of you, but it also
Oh
puts a
yeah.
target on your back now later in the game. Uh, so that happens. Nerys gets voted in. And then we go to the draw. And at the draw, we basically have Mariah, Nani, and Amber B. So Nani goes first, and she pulls nothing. And then Mariah goes, and she pulls the safeguard. So Mariah has, she's obviously safe, and she gets to choose between Amber B and um, Nani. And sure enough, she saves Nani. Amber's pissed. And yeah, it's Amber versus Nerys in the elimination. So no really surprise there. You kind of saw it. Mariah said something to Nani before and was like, "Yeah, I'm not voting you in." So
Well,
it
it was kind of ironic that Mariah pulled the safeguard and saved Nani because you saw earlier in the episode when those two were talking, that cuts to Nani in a confessional, and she's like, I'm working with like Amber is basically my number one of this group. If I pull the safeguard, I'm not going to save Mariah, but like Mariah's kind of offering that to me. So why would I? If I
yeah,
tell her that I'm not going to save her, then I'm not going to be saved. And so she clearly did the right thing because I think by her doing that one simple thing and kind of agreeing with Mariah, it saved her own ass when she sent in Amber instead.
it could have gone real dicey if Nani did pull the safeguard though,
Yes, that's true.
because she would have to save Amber B.
Yeah, I think she would have.
So then Mariah goes in. Mariah's pissed. You know, it is what it is. So let's go into the elimination. Yes, sorry. Going back, this is completely random. Popped in my head. Ryan McCord wrote in the chat. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen twins. Great call, Ryan McCord. You are the real MVP tonight. That was bothering me. Thank you for that in the chat.
Everywhere you look, everywhere.
Everywhere. God, that's a show that is just, you look back and you're just like, what a shit show of a cast goes through. All right, back to the elimination. The elimination. What do we think? Pole wrestle. What was it actually called?
Like
Pato
Pota,
something?
something ball.
Alexander Pato something?
Can't we just call it a pole wrestle?
God, yeah, pole wrestle, Paul wrestle. Just insane. Just absolutely insane of an elimination. Amber and Nerys, I thought they both went at it. I thought they both did a really good job. And that's why, like, these eliminations is why I like the challenge. Just throw something in the middle, and whoever can strength the other person is what I want. Like, and that's all it was. Like, it's short, it's easy, it's sweet. The end.
Yeah.
We don't need, all these puzzles spinning around and doing all this thing. Like, exactly, Mikey. You can't be mad when it's a good old fashioned headbanger. Like,
there's no gimmicks, there's no tricks.
yep.
It's not just strength. It is endurance, it is grip strength, flexibility. We saw that with Amber. There is like other parts of it, but at the end of the day, it is all what you and your body can do in the sand against another person. There's no puzzle. There's no, build a thing or like hold a thing or guess this number. It's all just what can you do holding this object that your opponent is also trying to pull from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the elimination you saw, round number 1 went to Amber. Seemed like it was a pretty long round 1. And then in round 2, it seemed like it was pretty decisive, and Amber kind of showed why she is a challenge champ and pulled away with victory. So down goes Nerys. Amber B gets the win. With Nerys leaving / going to the Redemption House, do we want to see her back on for a future season? I'll say yes, but you can go.
I'll say yes too. Yeah.
Mhm.
She seems like she's more normal than a lot of these clowns, but she also seems like she's into the show. And when she's there, she doesn't necessarily want to make noise just for the sake of making noise and getting camera time, but at the same time, she's not wallpaper. She's not shying away from it. She understands the game. She's willing to like learn from people. You saw tonight she was listening to Jordan's advice and everything. Like she kind of knows her place in the game while also like wanting to kind of, do her own thing in the game.
Mm-hmm. I think tonight too was a huge win for the vets. Do we think Nerys was their strongest player?
I think Bananas kind of put it the best where he was like, even if she's not their strongest player or their strongest girl, he said like he's really all they have besides Devin, who's the puzzle king, I guess. But besides Nerys, nobody else knows puzzles over there. Nobody else has a brain over there. And so if we get rid of her, maybe we're not losing a whole lot of muscle, but we are getting rid of like one thing that team is relying on her to do.
Absolutely. So you kind of hinted at it there for a quick sec. Do we have an updated list of, you said Devin is the current puzzle king. I guess Nelly is now the trivia king. Who's the puzzle queen and who's the puzzle, or I guess the trivia, the queen?
I think puzzle queen was Sarah at a time. Anissa, I think, has been a puzzle queen before.
Tori, I'm pretty sure.
Corey?
Tori.
Oh, Tori. Tori, I think, puzzle queen. Devin, West, puzzle kings before. CT, I think, is another puzzle king. Like we've had our fair share.
Yeah, it's
you solve one puzzle one time, and you're Albert Einstein in those houses.
Before we wrap up this recap, when I think I brought this up last week. When are we going to see this redemption house?
I don't know. And it was kind of weird.
We don't see it.
The way TJ was talking to Nerys, he was like, there's an outside chance. Like he was downplaying it a lot. Like, I don't know. It was different. I think we'll see it. I think somebody that gets eliminated will come back into the show at some point. I don't know how they're going to do it. They have to tell the house at some point. I do have a question for you now that Nerys has gotten sent to this redemption house. How many, at this point in time in the game, how many words do you think Nerys and Kenny have spoken to each other? Because they're now, like I would guess, living in the same, small little headquarters together in the redemption house, just those two. And Kenny doesn't talk to anybody. And, especially somebody like Nerys, like, I don't know if do you think Nerys shows up to the redemption house and sees him and she's like, asking him questions about the game because she thinks he's a producer and like, how, like, where's the bathroom in this house, things like that. And Kenny's like, no, I'm Kenny. I was on your team. Like I've been in the show for the past 2 months. Like, I don't know if they've ever talked.
I like that, Alex. I think realistically, combined, it would be what? It would be, hi, my name is Kenny. 5. Oh, hello. I am Nerys. So 10. There we go. 10 words. So 10 words before now, but I think you hit it spot on, Alex. I think realistically, she's just like, so like, what do you do? How do you work? Or what's your work style for the challenge? Do you just do this every season? Are you a producer, builder? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, this is my first season on the show. Excuse me. This is my first season on the show, and I want to be back for next season. When you're out to cast people, like, what are you interested in? And Kenny's just like, what?
He's like, I'm Casey's brother.
She's no, like, that's it. That's it. He's like, oh, I'm Kenny, and she's like, I don't read. Oh, I'm Casey's brother. Oh, you're Casey's brother. That's who you are. That's what it is.
Those two in the redemption house all by themselves. Both of them two are just anxiously awaiting the third person to come in there.
Mikey the Doctor writes, do we think there is a physical redemption house? We talked about this last week. I'm thinking now for this, like, I think the producers were just like, okay, let's figure out who the next girl eliminated. If it was Nani, I think there would have been a house 100%. Now that it's Nerys, they're like, these two awkward fucking people, let's just throw them in a hotel room and say, this is the redemption house.
Just down the hallway.
Yeah, exactly.
They're bumping into each other at breakfast.
Yeah, they're just at the bed and breakfast. So what are you going to do today? Oh, I'll probably just be by the pool all day. I'm just going to watch HBO all day. It's just out of control. So anything else from tonight's episode? I think we're in a great spot at
yeah. I think we're in a good spot. I mean, like we kind of touched about, it's like each episode at this point has the potential to show us something new in terms of format. Because if that team loses again next week, how are they going to determine who, which guy goes in or which two guys go in? And same thing with the girls the week after that. And even if they don't, and the vet team loses next week, it'll still be interesting to see the Misfit Toys team in charge. And so like I do feel like there's a lot of different angles that make it still interesting to tune in week to week. And then you just add into all of that, the twist, the redemption house. How is that going to come in? Are they going to bring the partners back to compete with them? Is it ever going to go back to pairs? All of that stuff. So I at least for an episode 11 going into 12 next week, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. I like the spot we're in. I just feel like you kind of hinted at earlier, I feel like they're just making up this game on the fly, though. And that's my biggest issue with it. Like, if we have another person eliminated from this other team, like, I'm almost guaranteeing, you can put the Trevor Fontaine guarantee on next week, that the vet team will lose. There's no chance they win next week. Producers will freak out.
You don't think they'll win next week? Or the week
No.
after?
Next week, when it's a guy's elimination, it has to be the other team winning. You can't just have like 2. It would be 5 versus 8 the following week.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no chance. I mean, think about how dumb that the thing's gonna be.
I think Mikey the Doctor raises a good point. I think they might just roll with this for like 2 more episodes, maybe, and then just partner everybody back up. And then like whoever doesn't have a partner goes into some like battle royale with all of the misfit toys that they bring back from the Redemption House.
The issue that I have is if this one team still loses, you're not really eliminating anybody because they're still in the game.
Yeah, they're
You get
still
what I'm
hanging
saying?
out at the hotel.
That's what I'm saying. Even though, like, what's his name? Kenny, Casey's brother, is in the Redemption House. He's still in the game. So, like, if you keep eliminating that team, we're not advancing this game by any means. That's
kind of like It's kind of like the dailies are just pointless.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think, like, realistically, like, there's no chance that vet team wins next week. There's no chance.
We'll see. Challenge rigged.
I think it is. There's 100% things that are rigged. You're telling me tonight that trivia for the win, you have the chance of anybody on that team, whoever lands on the wheel, to get chosen for the last question, and you're telling me, oh, by the luck of the spin, it was Johnny Bananas? Come on.
You know, it'd be funny if you rewound like a pre-challenge scene and it's like Bananas in his bedroom and he has like a notebook in the background and it's just like the number 118 like circled, underlined, like already has the answer before he goes into it. Just has to remember the number.
It's like just everything, like 118. Above that's like Mary Kate and Ashley. It says like Q7 or whatever. And that's like that NT. It's like Laurel's notebook with all
Mariah's birthday and all that.
Mikey the Doctor writes, so do you think Nelly T goes home next week? I'm leaning towards him or Chauncey going home next week. Because I think what's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting, if let's say Bananas is the house vote, who draws what? And that's the thing. Like, let's say Fezzi draws the safeguard. Who's he saving? Or if Bananas draws the safeguard, who's he saving? I think that's where it becomes very dicey.
Yeah, because I mean, their team has kind of been very kumbaya so far.
Yes, very well. That's the thing, very kumbaya, except Olivia and Nelly.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So let's keep this moving along. Segments tonight. What do we got, Alex?
I think we get right into MVP, LVP.
MVP, LVP. All right. MVP, LVP tonight. You know what to do? There's only 2 of us. Wait, should we watch Andy's video now then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I don't want to do
I think we should watch his video now, but we can definitely take any picks.
Okay. I've yet to see this video, so I have no idea. So Alex Trev will be the order tonight. Let's share my screen. Uh-oh, what's going on? Does this look fine or no? Can you see it?
I can't see anything yet.
Uh-oh. All right, I think I got it. Sorry. Wait, what the fuck? Please update your system's permission.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Bad radio.
Well, stall for a little bit, Alex, because I'm trying to figure this out. I changed laptops.
Well, I did want to say I wanted to let STP be the first to wish all of the viewers and listeners a Merry Christmas, and tonight Merry Christmas Eve. We'll see you guys. I think we should see you guys. I would assume there's an episode next week. So one more episode of 2022. But for now, just happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all the STPers out there. It's been a great year.
Yeah, like Alex kind of said, like without you guys, we're nothing. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in week by week, and I'm a little disappointed by some of us. We can't be all together for the famous Christmas EP, but it is what it is. So
Should I just give my MVP?
I mean, I have it on my phone. I'll just hold this up. Kind of annoying, but we'll just do that. So I have it up right here. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
What up, fellow co-host AW Wells? Pains me to not be with you live tonight. Certain things come up, it's the holidays. Jolliness is in the air. What can you do? Even though I'm not going to be there live with you guys tonight, I would still like to contribute to the pod, unlike some other co-hosts. So, it's currently 5 o'clock Eastern. Have not seen a second of it, but I'll still give you my MVP, LVP. My MVP for tonight is going to be Tej. It's trivia/trivia. That's really where TJ shines and just exploits how dumb all these people are. I know there's going to be plenty of smirks, some probably witty remarks, etc. So my guess is MVP TJ. He's going to steal the show. For my LVP pick, I'm going to go Tori. I don't really see her doing too well in trivia, and I also think she's kind of getting to a breaking point mentally in the house right now, and I could see her going somewhat Camilla Nader-esque, obviously on a much, much lesser scale. But that's it. I'm going MVP Tej, LVP Tori. I think they're both great picks. Again, sorry I can't be with you guys tonight. Apologies to the chat and the rest of the AWLs, but as always, love you guys. Happy holidays. I'll see you soon.
Wow. So thoughts on his MVP, LVP before we get in ours? Tej, I mean, pretty classic. Easy MVP pick, I'll say. Tori was a little surprising, but he kind of hit the nail on the head, though, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, it did. That the reasoning definitely made sense. I mean, there was that scene with her and Nerys towards the end where Tori looked like she just wanted to be, out of the house entirely. And yeah, they are. I mean, they're chalk picks.
Big chalk picks. I mean, it is what it is. We're here. Sometimes I don't like to half-ass picks, and maybe that's why I didn't send in a video. But hand up, I missed the episode, but I was back the next week, so we'll see if he's back there or if he's on vacation next week. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So start us off, MVP, Alex.
All right, my MVP is going to be trivia.
Oh, okay.
It's back. We're back. It's been a while. It's been over a year. And, even though we discussed some of the flaws in it, I think for the most part it's successful trivia. We got the smirky answers. We got the, people not knowing, like fucking Serena and Venus Williams, like, Adam and Eve, like all of those things. Not knowing about your partner, simple questions about them. I just think overall, it wasn't the best trivia we've ever had, but it was certainly the step in the right direction. And so I think just overall, when I think about this episode months from now, I'm going to think about trivia. And so that's why it's my MVP tonight.
Good pick. Good pick. My MVP tonight is somebody who stole the show. And it's got to be Nelly T. Scuba Nelly T. He had a wonderful episode tonight. His trivia performance, King Nelly. I mean, come on, you can't beat that.
He was an answer in trivia.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that Scuba Nelly was an answer in trivia tonight. I mean, we had Scooby Doo, we had R2D2, we had the Serena, we had the Williams sisters, and you put Scuba Nelly up there. That just shows how big Nelly T is. And I mean, just a guy who's also having a great season this year. I hope he continues to ride out. Obviously, his partner went home tonight, but we'll see. We'll see how Nelly T ends it. But I thought tonight he had a great episode.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good pick.
My LVP tonight. I mean, I really don't have that much of an LVP. I feel like it was a pretty I was fine with everything. Do I just say these people's brains as their LVP? Has that ever been picked? I mean, should I just my LVP is Challenger's IQ? Because these people are so fucking stupid. Come on. Like, it has been bad. I mean, it wasn't Dutch bad tonight, but I mean, when you don't know, like, Serena and Venus Williams, you don't know R2D2, you don't know Bonnie and Clyde, you don't know. I mean, it was bad tonight. So that's my LVP. Challenger IQs.
Challenger IQ. That's a good one. I mean, I'll check. I think we have something similar. I feel like that in the past to like just these idiots showing how much of an idiot they are.
Yes,
that's a good pick. My LVP tonight.
Sorry, one last thing, Alex. Sorry to cut you off. Also, I don't know if this bleeds into Challenger IQ, but how do you make Nelly T look like he's the smartest person on this show? Like, to me, that's unbelievable. I mean, oh my Lord, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's bad when Nelly T has to carry your team through trivia.
I mean, he was 2 of 2. I mean, Nani didn't even know freaking Frozen. God, should have.
What do you think Nelson would have said if he got that question?
If he would have got that,
the Frozen question.
He probably would have said
like Cinderella.
God, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't know what the other person to say. I was gonna say Cinderella and a stepsister, but that didn't make any sense. I'm trying to think of what's pop. Maybe Moana and somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, or like Rapunzel.
Yes, Cinderella and Rapunzel. That's probably what it would have been. God, so sorry, but continue. LVP.
I think with my LVP in the theme of both the season and tonight's trivia challenge with Ride or Dies, I'm going to go with 2 people who have been kind of riding or dying in this LVP, missing episodes, not being in the chat. I'm going my LVP tonight as Andy and Adam.
Can you explain? I don't really know those 2 that well.
They've, I think we've talked to them before in the past, even outside of the pod, but I'm going with them because tonight, Trev and Alex are the Ride or Dies on the pod, and the 2 idiots off the pod who are Ride or Dies tonight are Andy and Adam. Where are they?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great LVP. I didn't even think about that. I mean, those Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I mean, like, I don't know where they are.
They're like Nelson and Corey.
Honestly. Honorable mention, we're talking MVP, Ride or Dies. Mikey the Doctor, Ryan McCord.
Oh, yeah.
Big Ride or Dies. Anybody else? Any other honorable mentions?
I mean, I was thinking honorable mention MVP for Amber because she showed out in the elimination. And I think you could make a case for LVP for Mariah just because it seems like her spot in the game kind of got a lot shakier tonight. She did save Nani, but Amber's kind of going against her, and she's now kind of more tied to Bananas, which, has its ups and downs no matter what. But I think you could make a case that she could be LVP.
Ryan McCord writes, who would win in a trivia comp? Trev, Alex versus Andy and Adam.
That's what it is.
I mean, come on. I mean,
well, Andy and Adam wouldn't show up. We'd win by default.
Yeah, I know. I mean, God, we should set that up. Ryan McCord as the host.
Challenge trivia.
God, maybe like a dozen questions or something. I don't know. Anything else from tonight's episode?
I think I'm good. Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas to all, and have a wonderful night here STP, we are out. Love you guys. Shout out to Effie. Thank you guys for listening. Bye-bye.